Have you seen the polling on the Labour Party this morning? You've seen the YouGov poll, 18%, the lowest in living memory, actually. I think it matches the immediate aftermath of the financial crisis under Gordon Brown's premiership, but this is dire.
It is. Look, the normal answer I would give to this sort of question is the only poll that matters are elections. But actually, we've had a recent election where we did very badly.
We've had two.
And we've had two. And it's really important that the National Party realises the only way we can improve people's lives is by winning elections and forming a government. And it's really important to understand what voters are saying. I knocked on many doors during the European election campaigns. And in relation to Brexit, what many voters were saying to me is that our position lacks clarity, but also our position is one that is not good for jobs, growth and prosperity in our city. So I'm pleased there's been some movement from the National Party. I'm pleased they finally now...
But it's not persuasive, is it, or convincing? Because Mr Corbyn has attempted to play off one side against the other for the best part of 3 years. It's failed dismally, even if he were now to throw full-throated support behind a second referendum or attempts to stop Brexit. I made no secret of my views on this, so speaking as a relatively prominent Remainer, I just wouldn't believe him. I wouldn't have any faith at all in his ability to deliver what all the polling suggests a majority of the country want to see now.
Well, look, let's wait and see what the National Party's position is going to be.
No, let's not, because I've just speculated on what it might be. Even if it were full-throated support for remaining in the European Union, Jeremy Corbyn is not a leader that can engender confidence in because no one will believe that it's what he actually wants. He's had 3 years to persuade people otherwise.
I'm not sure if no one will believe what the National Labour Party says in relation to a change of position. I think
not the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. If he is still the leader and the party adopts a position that invokes a second referendum or a revocation of Article 50, people will not have faith in the leader, not the party.
Well, I'm not sure, because one of the things, whatever even critics of Jeremy Corbyn would accept, is that he believes in Labour Party democracy. And if the Labour Party's national position is one where they support a public vote, and if there's a referendum, they'll be campaigning for Remain. That will be the position of the National Labour Party. And one of the jobs Jeremy will have to do is to convince people like you, who at the moment aren't persuaded. He'll have to convince people like you and others, including, Alistair Campbell and many others who didn't vote Labour in the European elections, who are die-hard Labour supporters, not you, but I mean, Alistair Campbell and others, why they should trust Jeremy Corbyn's position as leader of the party. And he gets that. He sees the same polls that we do.
How often do you see him?
We exchanged text a few weeks ago.
Is that all?
I'm due to see him.
You're the most powerful Labour politician in the country.
Well,
you are.
Yeah,
I mean, whether people like it or not, it's a statement of fact. And yet, you're not in regular, weekly, daily contact with the leader of the Labour Party.
For a very good reason. I've got a full-time job, being the Mayor of London, and Jeremy Corbyn's got a full-time job being the national leader of Her Majesty's official opposition. I mean, he's campaigning all around the country all the time, very rarely in London. So I wouldn't expect our diaries to coincide, but we do exchange texts, we do speak, and I'm sure I'll be seeing him shortly.
You sound at your least feisty when you're seeking to defend Jeremy Corbyn. I can see in your eyes, I can see an anger with some of the accusations that are levelled against you with regard to knife crime. I've seen anger when people have tried to link your religion to your decision to get rid of those body-shaming adverts on the London Underground, and I see a sincerity there. I don't see it when you're defending Jeremy Corbyn. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm squinting a bit, but I don't hear it and I don't see it, and I don't think my listeners do either.
I knew the previous leader of the Labour Party, Ed Miliband, very well, and I know from Ed, but also if you speak to David Cameron, how difficult being the leader of the opposition is. It's probably the worst and hardest job in politics, and everyone's always proffering advice to Jeremy Corbyn. He's got to be a leader as he sees fit, and to give Jeremy Corbyn credit, he's trying to rebuild the Labour Party so they can win the next general election. In 2017 he was written off. There is the very good reason why Theresa May called the general election 25 points ahead, wanting to wipe out the Labour Party. And although Jeremy Corbyn was written off, the manifesto was a manifesto that won the support of British people. Jeremy Corbyn's authenticity won the support of British people. We made huge gains in the general election, and I'm hoping we can make further gains whenever the next general election is going to be. Jeremy Corbyn's got my full support. He's the leader of our party, and I'm hoping that the position of our party in relation to Europe changes more than it has in the past, so we can say we want a public vote, and we will campaign, if there is a public vote, for us to remain in the EU.